February 19th, and the 26 days of battle to secure a vital base on the bombing lanes to Japan. Nearly 23,000 defenders had to be faced, and the U.S. Marines did the job. Men of the 3rd, 4th, and 5th Marine Divisions.
Just off the secret list, the biggest aircraft rocket is demonstrated on the Pacific island of Iwo Jima. Aimed from a fighter plane, it's a deadly accurate weapon. The largest American naval force ever assembled in the Pacific heads for one of Japan's strongest defenses, the island of Iwo Jima. 800 ships and thousands of landing craft are on their way to this island fortress only 8 miles square and 625 nautical miles from Tokyo. Aircraft carriers in the rear of the main fleet open up the attack with hundreds of dive bombers. For 72 days before the landings, ruthless aerial attacks continue on the immense fortifications. The volcano Surabachi is a fortress in itself, and heavy flak is a continual threat to the attacking bombers diving on shore positions. Back from these destructive missions come the planes of the task force, many of them bearing the scars of battle. Others find it impossible to land. Breaking free from the wrecked plane, the pilot keeps afloat until help is on the way. A speedy rescue is carried out in spite of the heavy seas. Then came the turn of the battleships and their escorts to soften up the defenses still more. Finally, the landing craft, crowded with reconnaissance patrols, turn in towards the enemy shore. Under cover of protective smoke screens and a barrage of light guns and rockets, wave after wave of these small craft begin their part of the attack. From rocky positions above the beaches, enemy mortars keep the landing barges under continuous heavy fire. After a direct hit, a naval cameraman lies dead on the deck. But in spite of the murderous barrage, 40,000 Marines are rushed ashore. Tanks land on the beaches and add the weight of their guns to the growing power of the assault. Meanwhile, the advancing Marines fight their way inland over the treacherous black volcanic sands. A Japanese oil dump gets a direct hit. Through the slit of a tank, the camera follows the advance on the island's #1 airfield, later to be used by American bombers. Flamethrowers hurl their deadly fire at the almost invisible Japanese pillboxes. This Japanese soldier never lived to find fresh cover. Thousands of the enemy were killed, and only a few prisoners were taken to the transports lying offshore. In nearly 2 weeks, only 85 surrendered, and half of these were slaves from Korea forced into the Japanese army. All the time, tons of supplies are got ashore under heartbreaking conditions. Wheeled vehicles become bogged in the loose volcanic ash and have to be rescued by tractors, while foxholes provide the only cover on these barren shores. The course of the great battle is observed at first hand by Secretary of the Navy Forrestal and Marine General Smith, who call this battle the toughest engagement in 168 years of Marine Corps history. The United States Marines have won fresh glory with the epic story of the capture of Iwo Jima.